Groom waits at the altar for delayed bride, unaware she would die and leave him a newborn daughter. When the beautiful bride did not appear at the altar when the happy couple was about to exchange vows, the worried groom started counting down the minutes till the ceremony began. Soon after that, he learned something that converted what had been a joyful time for him into one filled with profound sadness and loss. Those who are patient will eventually be rewarded, though there are occasions when our waiting period might last for an extended period of time and inspire feelings of doubt, worry, and severe anxiety. Shaking off these sentiments could be easier said than done, however. Life has a way of surprising us in ways that are completely unanticipated. If not all unexpected occurrences are pleasant, the lessons we learn from life's events can significantly shape who we are and even help us to become a more evolved version of ourselves. The narrative that we're going to share with you today may at first give the impression of being quite depressing, yet at its core it teaches a valuable lesson. Therefore, without further ado, let us delve deeply into a wonderful love story that we hope will make an indelible imprint on both your mind and your heart. Nurse Jessica Guedes and Flavio Gonçalves couldn't contain their excitement over exchanging vows with one another and committing their lives to one another for all time. The couple, who were both from Sao Paulo in Brazil, had everything meticulously planned out and organized for their wedding. Expecting the unexpected. The happy couple and their loved ones were not aware that the big day has a wonderful surprise in store for them, one that would alter the course of their lives inexorably. It all started in the year 2019, when firefighter Lieutenant Gonçalves was waiting at the altar for his bride during the wedding ceremony they were both attending. However, fate shocked the man who was going through a difficult time by giving him a blessing in disguise that turned out to be a second shot at love. One may assume that if a wedding is running behind schedule, it's because the bride is taking her sweet time getting ready to look her absolute best. However, the situation was not as straightforward as it appeared on the surface. It was far more complicated than that. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to be inspired by these real-life stories on a daily basis. Now, let's return to the story. The bride died in the accident. Gonçalves waited and waited, but Guedes did not appear anywhere in the vicinity. He began to feel concerned and was unable to determine the cause of his fiancée's delay in arriving. When he got to the altar, he was taken aback when a relative of his future wife ran up to him and blurted out something that was really distressing. It was later discovered that the bride, who was 30 years old at the time, had passed out while riding in the automobile on the way to church in Sao Paulo. The groom made a beeline for his wife after the accident and opened the car door to see if she was okay. Taken to the hospital. After seeing Gonçalves, who consoled her and told her, "Baby, I'm here," Guedes experienced a momentary return of consciousness. Then she was finally able to impart upon him some information regarding the state of her health. The individual, who was 31 at the time, remembers the following. Jessica responded that everything was all right, but that she felt a tremendous pain in the back of her neck. At that precise moment, I decided to devote the next 7 years of my life to serving as a rescuer for the fire department. Almost immediately, he extracted her from the limousine and began administering first aid. Gonçalves stated that he received assistance from his fellow firefighters, all of whom were in attendance at the ceremony in the capacity of guests. After that, Guedes was sent to a state-run maternity facility located in the middle of Sao Paulo. Gone too soon. On the other hand, as a result of the difficulty of the situation, she was transported to the exclusive Promatre Paulista maternity hospital. Guedes, who was 6 months pregnant at the time of her incident, had suffered a stroke owing to preeclampsia and internal hemorrhage, as stated in the medical records. Because of this, the doctor had no choice but to remove her uterus and perform an emergency cesarean section in order to successfully deliver the kid. Sophia, the couple's preterm baby girl, was delivered at just 29 weeks, but the physicians were able to save her thanks to their swift actions and efforts. Sadly, the young mother was pronounced brain dead shortly after the birth of her daughter, and she passed away shortly thereafter. At birth, baby Sophia measured 13.5 inches long and weighed just 2.05 pounds. She was taken to the neonatal intensive care unit, where she remained for nearly 2 months. A horror that defies all words. Her loved ones remarked on how fit she was, as well as how well she maintained her diet. They went on to add that when she started feeling poorly and complained of feeling dizzy with discomfort in her neck, they assumed she was concerned about her big day because she was complaining of these symptoms. A video of the Brazilian bride's dying moments showed her smiling and waving to the camera when she was dressed in her breathtaking wedding gown on the day of her wedding. However, within a short period of time, she uprooted her life and moved on to her final destination, leaving behind a grieving Gonçalves and a little Sophia. The grieving father uttered the following: "I still find it hard to accept that this has actually taken place. It feels like I'm in a depressing movie. The kind where you cry and cry and cry, but when the credits roll, you realize it was all just a movie. On the other hand, the movie will never come to an end for me, and the anguish will go on for all eternity." The tender relationship between the premature newborn girl and her father was captured in a number of images that brought warmth to the viewers' hearts at the hospital. Gonçalves, who was overcome with grief, expressed that he had never anticipated that he would be forced to go through life without the love of his life. On the other hand, he declared that he would do everything in his power to maintain his composure in the face of adversity and draw his strength from the love and admiration he has for Guedes. A cheerful soul. The grieving father went on to say the following: "The love of my life showed me how to respect and take care of a lady so that I could learn how to raise our daughter," he said. "Our daughter is the product of my education." Gonçalves had a fond recollection of Guedes as an upbeat and vivacious individual who possessed an enlightened soul. He expressed his excitement about the prospect of beginning a new life with her, including the possibility of marrying her and having a kid with her. Finding love again. In point of fact, the death of Gonçalves' one true love created a vast gap in his life that's unlikely to ever be filled or compensated in any way. However, fate shocked the man who was going through a difficult time by giving him a blessing in disguise that turned out to be a second shot at love. As of the year 2022, the Brazilian firefighter is a devoted husband and an equally devoted father to his daughter Sophia. Thankfully, his young daughter and his wife have been said to have a touching bond and to be really close to one another. Happily pregnant. A further piece of positive information is that Miss Gonçalves is allegedly quite far along in her pregnancy, and that Sophia will soon take on the role of elder sibling to an additional child. Even though this story contains an unanticipated tragedy, the fact that Gonçalves was blessed with the gift of love and fatherhood demonstrates that the season of pain and sorrow may also be accompanied by joy and consolation. This is shown by the fact that Gonçalves was a father. Being a father to his daughter and a loving husband to his wife may enable him to look at life from a completely different perspective and be grateful for all that he still has in his life, despite the fact that he may always be devastated by the loss of his cherished fiancée. What are your thoughts on this story? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone else who might enjoy it as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.